This is going to be a quick review of composite figures for 7th grade. Whenever we're looking at figures like this, we've got to figure out what two shapes that we were working with. So here I've got a rectangle. Over here on this side I have a semicircle. So the formulas I'm going to use for the rectangle, I'm going to use area equals base times height. And for the semicircle, I'm going to use area equals pi r squared divided by 2. Rectangle's easy enough, so we're going to do area equals that base of 5 times 6. So the area on the rectangle is going to be 30. For the semicircle, right here I've got to use my radius. They give me a diameter of 6 because it goes all the way across, but I need halfway across. So halfway across is going to be 3. So when I start filling in my formula, I'm going to use 3.14 for pi times my radius of 3 divided by 2. So I'm going to start simplifying. So I have 3.14 times 3 squared is 9 divided by 2. So now I'm going to do 3.14. I have to do that times 9, and I get 28.26, and I still have to divide by 2. And finally, I'm going to do that 28.26 divided by 2, and I get 14.13. Because I need a total area, I need to combine my 30 and my 14.13. When I add these two together, I get a total area of 44.13. On to number 2. Same thing. I have my rectangle here. I have my semicircle here, and I'm going to be using the exact same formulas. So area for the rectangle is going to be base times height. So I will be doing 9 times 8. 9 times 8 is going to be 72. For my semicircle, same formula, pi r squared divided by 2. Again, I have a diameter of 8, so halfway across is going to be 4 for my radius. So I'm going to begin plugging in my numbers, so 3.14 for pi times my radius of 4 squared divided by 2. So 3.14 times 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16, divided by 2. When I do 3.14 times 16, I get 50.24. And finally, I have to cut that one in half, so 50.24 divided by 2 is going to be 25.12. Again, I have my two areas. I have an area of 72 and 25.12. So I'm going to combine these two, and when I add them, I get a total of 97.12. On to number 3. Here I've got two different shapes to work with. Don't let the dashed line going through the center confuse you. First, we are going to work with the rectangle because that's pretty straightforward and simple. So the area of the rectangle is going to be base times height. So I'm going to be doing 8 times 6. And I have an area of 48. Now for the triangle, this one can be tricky. Right here I have 1.5, right here I have 6, and right here I have 1.5. So I'm going to add the 1.5, the 1.5, and the 6, and I get a total length here of 9. For my height on this triangle, I've got to look right there. I know that the entire figure is 14 units long. I know that this portion right here is 8 units long. So if I do 14 minus 8, I will get a height of 6. Again, this whole thing is 14, and I'm going to take off this part right here, getting rid of that, and that's where I'm getting my 6 from. So for my triangle, I'm going to do area equals base times height divided by 2. My base is 9 times my height of 6 divided by 2. 9 times 6 is 54. And then half of 54 is going to be 27. So now I have my two areas. I have my area of 48 and my area of 27. So when I combine these two, I have a total area of 75 units. On the back side, this is another one with a rectangle and a triangle. So my area, I'm going to look at the rectangle first. So my formula is going to be base times height. Base of the rectangle is going to be 7, height is going to be 4, and my total area is 28. Now for the triangle, 1.5 there, 4 there, and 1.5 there. So I have a total length here of 7 units. My height, I have to go through and figure that out, looking for this height right here. I know the entire figure is 18 units long, and I know that this portion here is 7 units long. So I'm going to do 18 minus 7, and I know that my height on this triangle is going to be 11. So the formula for the triangle is base times height divided by 2. My base is going to be 7, my height is going to be 11. 7 times 11 is 77. And then half of 77, 77 divided by 2 is going to be 38.5. Again, I have to combine my areas of 28 and 38.5. So when I do 28 plus 38.5, I get a total area of 66.5 units. Final one on here. Number 5, Jane draws a pattern to help construct a bow for her sister's doll. How many square centimeters of material does Jane need to construct 3 bows? You've got to know that we're working for 3 bows for her sister's doll. So here's how we're going to do this. We're going to find the area of this entire figure and then multiply by 3 when we're finished. So again, I like starting with the rectangle. So area is going to be base times height. So my base is 2. And my height is 8, so my area on this one is 16. Now, for the trapezoids are both the same. I'm going to use the formula area equals base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. Base 1 here is this 8 centimeters. My base 2 is going to be this 12 centimeters. Again, we have to divide that by 2 and multiply by the height. Well, the height here is this distance right here, which is the same as this distance here. 8 plus 12 is going to be 20, divided by 2, again, times the height of 7. Half of 20 is 10 times 7, and I have an area of 70. So I know my area for this one is 70, and my area for this one is 70. So my combined areas, I have to add 70, 16, and 70. So I'm going to do 70 plus 16, and I have a total area of 156. But again, I have 3 of the bows. So I'm going to do 156 times 3. When I multiply those, I get a total area of 468. If you have any questions on these guys, this is what's going to be like on the test. So please come ask if you have questions.